And of course, another very important skill that you must master, though as I expect teachers all are already master of this, and this is the skill of test construction, but with the skill of doing the reliability and validity. Alright, so when we are doing the test, okay, there are certain steps that we must follow. First is determining your objectives. So you must know what do you want to measure. So what do you want to measure particularly in your research? Second is planning test specifications. So for example, you are doing the multiple choice, so there is what we call as table of specification. And the third is writing the test. So write it up, okay, the test. And the fourth step is pre or pre-testing. Okay, and that is actually what we call as pilot testing. So before you can give, okay, the test and administer the test to the respondents, make it sure that it's pilot tested. And of course, 5 is preparing the test for administration. Alright, so there are elements that you must consider in constructing the test. The first one is the reliability. It pertains to the uniformity in measurement. So it must measure what it's supposed to measure uniformly. Another one is consistency, and that is it must be free from extraneous source of errors. So consistently good, okay, the test items are. Utility, cost and time effective. And of course the validity, how well a test measure what is supposed to measure. Is it valid for that particular competence that you want to get as a source of data? Alright, so as an example, okay, we do have here, okay, a multiple choice type of test. So for example in here, when we use multiple choice, for example, you want to know the competence of the students or the achievement of the students. So multiple choice type of test is being used. So these are just the basic parts. We do have the STEM, which is the research question itself. And then there are options. But within the options, there are what we call as distractors. And one is the correct answer. So as you would notice, the options, first they are arranged, okay, by length, for example. So and that is to measure the validity, that's the face validity. Alright. And of course, in terms of content validity, you have to consult an expert for that particular field. There are what we call as barriers in test construction. So I have taken this from the net. Misalanganin, confusing statements. Mr. Highfalutin, difficulty vocabulary. So these are the things that you must avoid for you to have a valid type of questions. Alright, so what is very important here, especially for the multiple type of questions, we are doing the item analysis or the difficulty factor. This is to measure the reliability of the test. So that is very simple. We are doing that as a teacher. We are doing the correct response, and that is the difficulty factor, where D is the difficulty factor, C stands for the number of correct answers, and small letter n, the number of respondents. So the optimum level is 0.5, wherein 0.3 to 0.7 are the acceptable or the reliable test questions. Beyond that, okay, you must consider it for rephrasing. For example, 0.3 below, it means to say that is a very difficult item, and more than 0.7, that is a very difficult test item. So you have to rephrase if you find those items on those limits. Alright, why we are doing this? Why this is very important in research? It's because based from World Watch Philadelphia Trumpet, August 2005, 13% of the students, or in our case, respondents, who got low grades in exam are caused by faulty test questions. So remember, you cannot start the research unless you have the right tool. Otherwise, you will just be gathering data, wrong data, because of your wrong item or your wrong test or tool. So that's the importance of test construction, validity, and reliability.